Hey everyone, my name's Sean Ryan, and this is the first in a series I'm going to be doing on my YouTube channel. It's a vlog series, just Porch Talks. I'm on my front porch here. It's a decent day, weather's nice, it's not raining. It's pretty calm and peaceful here out in the forest where I live. Here, I'll give you guys a little view of it. If I can get the camera to turn around. Apparently I can't. Well, I will turn the camera around so you guys can see. Didn't know that. Well, welcome. Like I said before, my name's Sean. I'm an interactive media and designer. Been a creative director on a lot of projects, especially in college when I went to the University of Miami. I grew up and was raised in Miami, Florida, and it was a melting pot of sorts coming out here to Virginia. It's a lot slower down, and my neighbor's brakes are really squeaky. But I just finished making a video. It was for Baldurs Gate 3, and it's a really cool game. I played Baldurs Gate 2, I played Baldurs Gate, but I did not play the Baldurs Gate original that was on PC long ago. Long ago. I played when they came to console with like Champions and Norath and all those other things. I love playing video games. I love playing games. I love designing games. I am paid to be a game master. I work with a wonderful company called Plato's Learning, and they do what's called Mythomagic, which is a Greek god based or a simplified version of D&D, and I host those matches. I host those sessions. I also design some of those campaigns along with a wonderful bunch of other people. They're all amazing, talented, and very creative. It's been probably the best place I've ever worked, especially right now with being stuck at home a lot. And I really enjoy story writing. I would love to write a novel, but when I look at it and I think about it, it feels like a mountain, to be honest. It feels like I'm staring at from the bottom of a mountain, I'm staring up at it. And even if I chip away at it, you know, it's still a mountain in front of me. So it's hard to feel like I can accomplish it. I can get it done and do that. I mean, I just moved here to Virginia about almost 2 years ago. Just about this December, it'll be 2 years. I think I should know it's been about 2 years now, or a year now that I moved here. And it's been very interesting. It's been a very growing experience, and I've really been enjoying it. It's been a lot of changes. But when I look at games and I look at the way games are designed and how I look at how they're meant to be implemented and interacted with in the exchange between people, AI, and technology, I have a gift. And I think a lot of that has to do with, before I went back to school at the University of Miami, I hit some really hard times. I struggled a lot with myself, with people, with just interaction in general. I didn't belong. I didn't feel like I belonged in the world, my friends, anything. And went through a lot of work to build myself back up and to explore that. What actually makes it to where we interact with each other, or we enjoy it, or we want to come back for more and say hello again, or feel welcomed, or feel sad or upset, and when is that okay, when is it not okay, how do we feel? And right now, with the way the world is going, I feel like this is a very important field. And I've been with companies, or checked out other companies, not been with, worked with, but I would love to, with Magic Leap, which was alumni from the University of Miami who founded the company after selling the robotics company, which is a spatial graphics company that uses interwoven layers to pretty much decrypt what's around you and encrypt. So you could put an entire galaxy in your living room and to interact with it. Or you could look at sewage lines or a dam, water dam, and to be able to break it down layer by layer and be able to say, okay, well, this is where our foundational problems are, and to go after that. It's a really cool venue, and it's a really cool technology, and things are changing very rapidly. Eventually, more and more of our world is going to be uncovered, and it's just a matter of time that we are as well. And we're at the focus of it. We are the epicenter. The hero's journey of us in technology is constant, like a planet's orbit. We're interwoven together. So where does this come in? Where does this vlog, what does all this mean? I don't know. To be honest, not everything has to have a reason. Sometimes it's just nice to take a minute and sit on the porch, soak in the world around you, take a breath, appreciate, the life you had, and appreciate the things that can be taken for granted, even if it's just 5 minutes of breathing, 5 minutes of being in a nice neighborhood. I don't know, man. There's a lot. I've been in a lot of places, I've lived in a lot of places, I've done a lot of things, strange things, interesting things, things I'm not so proud of, things that I've learned from, still learning, still doing dumb things. But, here's like I said, my background's in art community design. Let's talk about that. Just played Baldurs Gate 3. Wonderful game. I've had it since early access. I've been waiting for the game to be a little more polished so I could do a video for it. Just so they could kind of figure out, because usually when they release patches, sometimes that means your save files aren't always going to be compatible going forward. So I didn't want to put that pressure on them and myself to feel like I have to start all over after everything. Doesn't mean I didn't tinker around and did some. The beginning, the very beginning, the big intro scene. Right, here we are. We are within the Cthulhu Nautiloid ship. Not Cthulhu, I'm sorry, Mind Flayer Nautiloid ship. And it's very visceral, very organic based. It looks like you're within an organ. It's like you're in the whole sequence of events of being ejected out of the ship, of being attacked, that violence of the dragons pretty much breaking through the ship's surface and barraging it constantly, and you trying to be the one out of hundreds of people to make it out, is a representation of birth. It's a representation of being born into the world. A fertilized egg is only fertilized by one sperm that makes it out of 100. One individual, is strong survival of the fittest type of thing. But is it really the fittest, or is it just someone who got lucky? You know what I mean? Like, we always, sometimes, the strength of convenience and circumstance is much stronger than most people like to admit. We like to say that I did it, I did these things, but sometimes you just are in the right place at the right time, and you may not even know it. So don't be too hard on yourself. Even if you feel like you're struggling right now, or you feel like you're not sure where you're going to go next, that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're not in the right place at the right time. And sometimes you do need to act. Sometimes you need to get up off the porch and go inside and do the laundry and wash the dishes. Other things like that. Maybe write that book. Maybe get around to that. But yeah, that whole experience in the tutorial of that game was a birthing process of birthing you into the world of D&D and the Lorien, what they've come together to create, and birthing you into that. And it is very violent, very visceral, and just overwhelming gore and organs and all these things that are happening and flying by you, and you're getting tossed around in this bunch What I would have done instead is would have simplified it some. I mean, Hollywood does it. Why not games? Games are becoming so impactful now that they're getting. They need to be a little more cohesive in that sense. I feel like if we were going to be picked up as something, they didn't explain anything of how they picked up. Maybe we find that out later of how we got on the ship because we saw how other people got on the ship. Why can't we be one of those people? I think that's where they could have moved that process along, the transition in those cutscenes, is that we should have been one of those people that were picked up in that ship, and then it shows that some of those people, we were one of those people who put in an incubation pod, then we were, a tadpole was put in our brain, and then we start off already in fight with the imps. And just get us right to the action. I feel like exploring that incubation room with the little tadpole thing that we saw with the guy, beautiful scene. I just don't feel like we really needed to have that little interaction of exploring that room first. I feel like you're in the heat of the moment. Your character, when the ship is on fire, when you feel like your life is in danger, the first thing you're going to do instinctively is not to look around for treasure. It's just, that's one of my things I would say as well. It's like, hey, the ship is crashing. Let's solve this puzzle so we can free this prisoner. No. And you have that option later on in that same exchange where we do have a situation with one of the characters are locked inside a capsule and you have to choose, do we try to save her, do we not? And maybe there was a way to try to get her out, but I'm going to be pretty doubtful that majority of people don't get her out. I'm gonna say probably a high percentage don't. What else? The flipping the switch and turning into mind flayers sequence. I think that was supposed to show the severity of what has occurred to your character. You now have this tadpole in their head where it could flip of a switch, turn you into a mind flayer, or it could be around there eating you like Cheerios. I think they should have just showed that. Show instead of tell, The area, that everything has been designed really nicely. The environment's gorgeous, But for storytelling, get to the point. Don't bother. You don't have to spoon feed me. You already have the mature rating on this game for 17 years or older. So I'm going to assume that whoever's watching or this, whoever playing this game is at least 17 years or older. I should assume. Doesn't mean it's true. Who knows? What else about this? We're missing character classes, which of course I imagine is coming with due time and diligence. But some key character classes, Paladin's been around forever. Monk's not there. But that could have been expanded. But, I feel like Monk's been around for a long time. But even certain domains, subclasses, are missing. And it's strange to see certain subclasses that were in there that were over others, like the trickery domain for the cleric. Of all the domains the cleric has, fortunately, that one is probably not the most popular. And it's a shame, because I'd rather you play a character that is honest and true to you than what is metagaming. And what I mean by metagaming is optimizing a character that does max damage. I do the most damage, or I do the most turn combat efficiency. Well, I'd rather you tell me that you're a nerf herder and that you used to live on a farm and your weapon of choice is a pitchfork and you don't have much combat prowess, but you were inducted into a tribe of druids and they taught you how to communicate with plants, and so you became a druid with a pitchfork. Even though most druids don't like iron tools or weapons, you were an exception because you weren't originally one of them. You were inducted into as you fled your village that was ransacked, or taxes were so high you couldn't keep your farm. Another thing I've noticed, and especially this beginning introduction, is a lot of negative thrown at the user. you're in a plane crash, you're in all this stuff, there's all this stuff that's happening. It's all happening to you. It's all happening to the, everything, you're in the epicenter of this terrible, tragic event. It doesn't have to be tragic. You can start off, like I said, on a farm. I would still be intrigued by the story. That's just me, personally. I can go into more depth about that later. But, let's see, what else can I think of? Yeah. But pretty interesting. I mean, it must be a good game if I have this much to say about it. So, it shows how much I love and appreciate the work that Larian Studios does and that Wizards of the Coast has done. I've always been a big fan of their work, and ever since I was a kid, before I even knew that they made this stuff I played. So I can't say enough about it. And my next video, maybe I'll share a book with you guys, maybe a favorite book of mine or something. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one.